Alright, welcome back. So the major flaw I've been avoiding up until now is everything after episode 26 of Death Note. Oh boy, where to start with this? Everyone always talks about the season being bad, but I've never been able to find anyone saying exactly why. But the conclusions I've come to myself come back to the three sides of Death Note I mentioned earlier. The second season of Death Note practically throws all three sides out the window. Firstly, we lose the characters. L dies, and to take his place is Nia and Mello. Mello is a relatively interesting character, but N is literally nothing. For the whole series, he does nothing but catch Kira. You never hear any personality in his thoughts like you did with L. In fact, there's a surprisingly big difference between N saying, "We know XXX, therefore XXX," and L saying, "Could Kira actually be doing XXX?" Wow, my script sounds like a fanfic. Yeah, we know XXX, therefore XXX is basically all Nia does for his entire run. In fact, there's only one moment where he does seem to differ from this one-dimensional self, and that's in the very last episode.
He's getting away! Light!
Mr. Isola! It's unlikely he has any more pieces of the notebook. And with those wounds, he's not going to go far. He'll stop running soon, even if we leave him alone.
Huh. Nier, I'm not gonna follow your orders.
Huh? Very well then. I'll leave it up to you.
Well, at least Dan managed to pull his finger out at the very end. Pull his finger out. Oh god, this is gonna become a thing, isn't it? Anyway, the difference is Elle had emotions, although very strange ones throughout the series. Remember when he flipped out the idea of death gods? Remember how much it was emphasized that he was putting his life on the line to meet Kira in person?
What about this L character? Can he be trusted?
In my opinion, he's a lot more capable than we are. Right now, even as we speak, he's risking his life.
Remember all those cool lines about justice? Nia had none of that. I know it was kind of the point of N's character to symbolically represent the half of L that was brooding and genius or whatever, but making a character symbolic of something doesn't excuse the fact that she is boring as nipples. Actually, nipples are pretty interesting, not sure why I said that. On top of this, we lose Light as we know him. In the second season, he becomes a complete prick. In the first season, you got the feeling he had principles. He scolded the second Kira for killing innocents unnecessarily, and he stated some pretty logical and understandable motives for his objectives.
I am justice! I protect the innocent and those who fear evil! I'm the one who will become the god of a new world that everyone desires! All those who would oppose that god, they are the ones who are truly evil!
Well, what he was saying made sense. He just kinda did it with a little flair, that's all. And maybe 5 pounds of cocaine. As said in the last video, the great thing about Death Note is how you could never totally come to the conclusion as to who the real antagonist was. Both characters had redeeming features and that allowed you to like them and get behind them. Light just loses those redeeming features in the second season. Hell, when his father's dying, he's only concerned about fulfilling a part of his evil plan. Not once does he go, "Shit, my father's actually dying. Feel kinda bad about that." In fact, if it wasn't for the voiceover, I'd imagine his inner monologue would have been like, "Holy shit, my father's about to die and it's seriously all my fault. I feel like having a bag of potato chips." Weirdly, when he does die, Light actually starts crying. I mean, was that like an act or something? He didn't seem to give a frozen fuck 5 seconds ago. A frozen fuck? Really, me? Why would you even script that? There's many other immoral moments by Light like this, and this pretty much means that Light turns into a plain as day antagonist in the second season. And this leads to us losing another side of Death Note, the moral battle. I don't think I need to explain why you lose the moral battle, because this is effectively the same scenario as with Higuchi in the first season. Even without the moral battle though, I don't think I would mind him being the flat-out antagonist. It really wouldn't have been so bad. Well, wouldn't have been so bad if there was actually a protagonist you could get behind. Unfortunately, neither Nia nor Mello have any redeeming features to make them a protagonist. Nia is emotionless and hardly even makes it clear why he even wants to catch Kira, and Mello just wants to beat Nia. This basically just ends in a story with no characters we care about, and you know, that's kind of a bad thing. And I've just noticed, we've gone like half the video without even mentioning Code Geass. Kind of ironic, given that the title is Death Note X. Oh, damn it! On top of that, the final side, the intelligence of the series, took a bit of a hit as well. The first season was all about using simple concepts creatively to escape problems. Here we saw Light solve problems by ripping pages from the Death Note, hiding in groups of people to avoid the second Kira singling out with his Death God, and we saw L use simple but equally creative fake-outs to catch Kira. The advantage of this was it was much easier for the audience to understand, and therefore a lot easier to appreciate the genius of the whole scenario. The second season, however, seemed to run out of creativity, and most of the intelligence of the series had more moving parts that were harder to remember and keep up with. Interestingly enough, I think Code Geass really learned from this and based a lot of the intelligent conflicts around this rule. like using the Geass on himself, reflecting it off mirrors, creating earthquakes, finding loopholes, and using the Geass to demand sex. Wait, no, sorry, I was thinking about fanfiction again. And that's about all that's wrong with the second season of Death Note. Despite, of course, the last episode, which at the very least makes a good conclusion for the series. But unfortunately, it doesn't make up for the 10 grueling episodes beforehand, and it definitely doesn't keep up with Code Geass, which, disregarding a couple of convoluted story moments, is a phenomenal anime. Although, before we finish on that, I do want to give Code Geass a special mention for something it does incredibly well. You see, Code Geass is a master of plot twists. I'll never forget when Euphemia started launching the Japanese Special Zone and convinced Lelouch to join her and stop the fighting. From this point on, I thought things were going to work out, and wait, did Lelouch just accidentally use his Geass while joking about getting Yuffie to kill the Japanese? Fuck this show! Yeah, you thought things were gonna be happy from this point on? Nope! Dead people time! I mean, Death Note had a lot of good plot twists, but my god, Code Geass was constantly finding the most giant, unexpected monkey wrenches that it could throw into the plot. And what's most amazing is they actually got them to work, too. Alright, that's about it. Jeez, this was the long-winded script. In fact, I have to apologize for the video not being as funny as the last. I kinda scripted the 2 videos all in one session, and I think I might have ran out of funny by the second half, which caused me to have to shoehorn some extra jokes in because I had written like no jokes for the other half. But anyway, if you think I've got the stuff to come the next big thing on YouTube, then maybe you should subscribe to my channel. Not only will your subscription spur me on to make more videos, but since I'm still new here, if you subscribe now, you'll have the bragging rights from being one of the first ones to support me when this channel kicks off. Well, if this channel kicks off. Well, catch you later.